Hi Leo, I want to welcome you to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carole. And Leo, this is going to be a general reading for you for December 2025. And what a powerful month this is going to be. Some of you might have been following, in particular, the Comet 3i Atlas and all the information that's coming out for us for that. That's going to be coming in on December the 19th. But before that, we have an incredible full moon on December 4th and also a new moon on December 19th. Right before the December solstice as well, which is on the 21st. So there's just so much power, energy coming in for us right now. And I don't know about you, but it's a time that I'm sitting in right now. And I say the word sitting in because it just really feels like it's like a cocoon stage for me right now, where it's becoming a period of deep inner healing for me. And in particular, I've been releasing some things that are just no longer needed for me, whether they're relationships, whether they're things in my life that is just like, I think these need to go, ways of thinking, belief systems, because, we're getting prepared to move into this higher consciousness. And so what I wanted to look at in this reading is I want to look at what you're being asked to release right now during this period in December that's just no longer serving you. And then I want to look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing. Because whatever is needing healing right now is related to our childhood, it's related to our adolescence. And that's what's sitting in our unconscious. And I think it's a really busy time. And so we have a tendency to not pay attention to what's coming up for healing, and especially some of these emotions that are surrounding what needs healing right now. And then we're going to finally look at what guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to this situation. And then I'll also suggest a video for you or a playlist at the end. So before we get started in your reading, I picked a couple oracle cards out for you from two different decks because I wanted to get an idea of sort of focus on what theme you're dealing with right now. So I selected a card for you from the Return of Spirit deck, and also the Secrets of the Ancestors. And so for you, Leo, I have two cards, and the first one is Commitment. And this card can refer to, it's a commitment that, first of all, if you see this kind of a bow here, so it's a binding commitment, and it's something that is probably not going to be an easy thing for you to get out of down the road. So it's going to be a fairly big commitment that you're facing. Now, it could be something like a commitment to someone else. You're thinking of moving in with somebody, or maybe you're thinking of you're making a commitment to marry somebody. Maybe you've just become engaged. But it also can be a commitment to starting a new business, getting a new partner, leaving a job. Maybe you're planning, you've decided, it's my turn to plan a vacation for people, or, certain groups of friends, or maybe you've signed up to, maybe go back to school, or you've started a new project. So that's the commitment to someone else or something else. But then there's also the commitment of, January comes right around the corner, and we tend to, I don't, but I have in the past, where you tend to, put this pressure on ourselves, and we have these New Year's Eve commitments, New Year commitments, I should say, where we decide, maybe I'm going to quit smoking, or I'm going to lose weight, or so there's really something here. So that could be a commitment to you, but whatever it is, it's going to be binding. And so when I picked my next card, which was the Mother of Earth, Fertile Ground for you, this card really speaks about Mother Earth and the abundance and the wealth that surrounds her. But she's very, very grounded in her decision, right? It reminds me of the Queen of Pentacles, that feminine energy where we can sit in that, and we know that any decision that we make is going to come from our gut. It's going to come from our inner knowing. It's going to come from our inner intuition, because we're very grounded. And so if she were, the shadow aspect of her would be someone that's making decisions from your head, having your ego decide, right? And how many of us make decisions from this, which is our ego? And it's never the place to make decisions from. It's always it always needs to come from our gut, our intuition, our knowing, our body, right? And so I'm wondering here if, this can be, like I said, a period for you that can be very, distracting, and lots going on in December. And so let's take a look right now where this whole theme of commitment and, are you feeling grounded enough in your body to be able to move forward with this commitment? And maybe you could be feeling also that this other individual, or whatever this other party is, are they committed to you? And so maybe there's some confusion there, wondering if there's, if it's the right thing to do. So let's start off with, for our main cards, I'm going to use the Ehrenberg Tarot. And then I'm going to clarify it with the Radiant Rider-Waite. So let's start off with one card for Leo. What's Leo being asked to release that's no longer serving them during this period right now? We have the Seven of Wands card. And what's coming up from Leo's shadow that needs healing in regards to this area of commitment? Seven of Cups. Two sevens on the table. Sevens is a number of introspection, going inwards, which makes a lot of sense since you're involved with you are involved with making some kind of a commitment decision. What guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to this situation? That one wanted to come up, and this time it was a Six of Swords. Interesting card to get. This is going to be the guidance from the tarot at the end. So let's pick a couple clarifiers for the Seven of Wands. Tell me some more about the Seven of Wands card. You have the World card and the Wheel of Fortune. Two major arcana cards for you to start off with your situation that you're sitting in as clarifiers. Seven of Cups. Couple cards to clarify, and this is your shadow. One there, and you have the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands. And Six of Swords. Couple cards for that. One more. There we go. Okay. You have the Fool in reverse and the Emperor card. Two more major arcana cards for you sitting here. So some powerful energies in December for you for sure while you're deciding on this commitment theme for you. So the Seven of Wands, let's begin with. So what are you being asked to release? So here's this individual. Notice this. I love this portrayal of the Seven of Wands, because this deck in particular will take a snapshot of the Rider-Waite deck, Seven of Wands. And so they've really focused on the feet of the individual that's standing on that pedestal all alone. Notice how the shoes, two different shoes. And so this is very much a person that is non-conforming. Maybe you've been like that, Leo, somebody that, maybe you're that kind of person that's kind of been doing your own thing all your life, right? It's just like, I'm going off on my own. No, this is what I want to do. And a lot of times we can kind of feel like the one that's been alone all our life, right? That's just sometimes we could be the black sheep of the family, right? Where we're just not feeling totally supported by people around us. Oftentimes when we decide that we want to do something and for instance, there's a commitment here that you want to do, and maybe there's people that are trying to bring you down, and you could feel it. There's people that are trying to pull you down off your pedestal. It's like, who do you think you are? Like, what do you mean you want to start this business? Oh, that's risky. I wouldn't do that. Oh, you might lose some money, or anything like that, whatever it is, right? So I think you're feeling like you're very much alone right now. And because you're so alone and unsure, there could be, a lot of fear around what's happening right now. But yeah, so there's this real sense on your part of feeling very alone in this decision that you're having to make. And you're hoping with the World card coming behind it, you're trying to bring some closure to this. Like, you're desperate to make this decision. And we talked about maybe you're feeling quite ungrounded maybe around this. So it's like, what do I do? There's nobody, and oftentimes when we're trying to make a decision, we'll go to different people. And sometimes we tend to go towards our ego actually will bring us towards certain people because we know they're gonna say that to us, So you could have, asked somebody that has always been that one person that's gonna say, what are you doing that for? Why would you want to do that? And that's just going to increase the amount of doubt that you have in your system. The Wheel of Fortune here comes as a last card for you as to what you're being asked to release. And the Wheel of Fortune, it's a card where if it's in reverse, it's like it gets stuck, right? And so the Wheel of Fortune, but it's not reverse here, but the Wheel of Fortune is like these incidents. Things happen in our life, circumstances happen, and it just continues to, life goes on, right? And I think here, what you're being asked here to release is your doubts and your fears that are sitting here wondering, well, people aren't supporting me. I just don't know what to do. I'm feeling quite mixed up in my head about what to do. And yet, this Wheel of Fortune comes and it says, well, like, the world's going to continue. Circumstances, things are going to happen. It's all going to continue to move. And it's almost like saying too, like, it's going to be okay. But there's so much doubt here and there's so much fear. And you're just having a real difficult time making a decision, right? And feeling right about it. Feeling like making it a grounded decision is like, this is what I want to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in your shadow now, because it's going to tell me about, something in your childhood or something in your adolescence that would, where this fear of wanting to do something or the doubts about wanting to do something are coming out. And this is what's happening for you right now. This situation that you're finding yourself in, having to make this commitment, not having to, but wanting to make this commitment, but just can't, or maybe having fear around it. This is something that is coming up for you because it's a lesson now during the month of December for you to really understand what lesson is coming up for you, what needs healing around this whole theme of making this commitment, right? Because this is something big for you. And so the Seven of Cups comes here, and Seven of Cups talks to me about Seven of Cups is a card that has all these cups on it. And there's these things coming out of it, right? Look at all these things. And sometimes there's promises of some money. And so maybe you're dealing with something where there's, promises of money. If you're talking about a business, you're starting, or maybe you're changing jobs or something to do with money. You know, the snake is here, and oftentimes we think of the snake in some cultures it's a good luck sign, and oftentimes people will see, well, the snake appears, that means it's bad luck, right? So you're just not sure. It's, you know, we hear like the slippery snake. So there's things here that maybe are slippery about the situation. Then this rose that's coming out of the eye of a skeleton, and it's like, ooh, like, so just a lot of odd, weird things coming out of this cup. And this is from your childhood. And I'm going to say, like, this could be a real card of, the word gaslighting came to me, like a card of, for you, I'm going to say you were quite dissociated when you were younger. And people around you would have really, the support that they gave you would have been quite confusing most times, right? Where you might have went in one direction and asked something, and then they gave you an answer, and then somebody else gave you something different, right? And so it's really, you came from a really confusing environment when you were younger. And so to be able to make a decision, because oftentimes when we're younger, we go to adults around us to try to give us answers to our questions that we have and decisions we have to make, right? Because we often aren't given that gift of, well, what do you want to do? Or what do you think? Instead, it's more like we get these conflicting decisions that are made for us when we're younger. And right behind it is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands, and remember, this is your shadow. Ace of Wands talks about this gift coming from the universe of a wand. And the wand talks about our purposeful direction, our creative direction, right? It's given to us, and it's like this new beginning for us. But anything that was creative, or anything that you wanted to do on your own, anything that you were, imagine taking that wand and just going with it and being creative and putting yourself first and doing what you wanted to do. Well, it became very confusing for you. And it's buried in your shadow here, because that just did not happen for you. To be able to take that wand and to step out courageously and try something new, didn't happen because you were not supported, right? You would have heard things like, what are you doing that for? Don't do that. Or, different situations where you were either protected, or you were maybe discouraged, or it was just so conflicting. I shouldn't say protected, maybe controlled. Your childhood, but you just didn't have that, like I said, that courage to go out on your own and do these things. And then the Page of Wands comes right after it. Interesting, it's another wand, right? And the Page is an inner child. And so you have this inner child in you right now that holds the memory, or the memories of when you were younger, and when you wanted to go out on your own, and when you wanted to try things by yourself, and you weren't allowed to, or you were discouraged from doing it. This page is about 4, 5, 6 years old. And at that time, 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew exactly what you wanted to do, why you came here, right? And it just takes, things like trauma, things like just people discouraging you and leading you and controlling you, and all of those things, put together to take you in a totally different direction. And so now that you are planning on making a commitment to something, and it's like, no, this is where I want to take my life. This is where I want to go. I'm feeling like this is a grounded decision. I'm feeling like I have sat on this long enough, and I'm feeling like it is intuitive. And yet these doubts are just coming up, and that is what's just going to stop you. And that's where you're going to feel stuck. And that's where the fear is going to come in, because that's what you have to heal from your childhood, right? You got to look at it. Okay, what happened to me when I was younger, right? There's you, that nonconformist, wanting to go out on their own, do what they wanted to do. That was you, but you were pulled down all the time, right? And so what is the advice from the tarot? And you know, it's amazing. It falls right underneath that Seven of Wands. Here's your nonconformist, this individual. Here's you trying to go out on your own, make this decision, right? Almost like breaking free from these people that aren't supporting you. And you know that, you're feeling it. But then this Six of Swords comes in as advice from the tarot, and it says, Leo, this is a card of a mother and a child. And you can see here that here's the moon. Here's the intuition in the background, right? It's like this woman that has decided to take her child to a safer place, right? This is a card where they're on a boat. And she's taking them to a safer place. She's following her intuition. And this card, for me, represents safety. It says, Leo, are you in a safe place? Are you surrounded by people who completely support you? And if you're not supported, if you're not surrounded by people who are completely supporting you, then that's where, you know, it becomes a time of, are there people in my life that I need to let go of? What do I need to do to get safe? Because the Fool card comes in here, and the Fool card does not come often in my readings. And it comes in reverse here, because the Fool speaks about having that childhood innocence, that ready to jump off that cliff and know that the universe has your back. And the universe is saying, you know, once you get into a safe place for yourself, where you're really feeling safe with you and safe in a place where you know that these people that are trying to take you down are not going to be part of your decision anymore. And oftentimes it has to be sometimes where we literally physically have to, you know, go no contact with people, walk away from people, whatever it is to get ourselves to a safe place. We can convince ourselves that people are being very supportive when they're not, right? Especially when it's something that you want to do for yourself. And sometimes it can really intimidate people. But the universe is saying, you know, there's a real fear here. And they know that. They know that there's a real fear. And you're having a hard time trusting that this is going to be okay. But the universe says, they want to turn that around for you. And they want to say, Leo, get yourself into a safe place. And that's when you're going to be able to take that leap of faith, right? And trust. Because right now, the fact that you're not in a safe place, and you're not surrounded by people that are safe for you, is really preventing you from jumping and trusting that this is, whatever it is, it's going to be okay. And the last card here is the Emperor card. And it's interesting that it's come out, because it's almost like, I want to say it's a wall that you're going to come up to, right? And it's the Emperor card. And the Emperor is very solid. It's this individual that's been sitting in this cement chair forever. You know, he rules the city behind him. And he knows he has no issues. He doesn't even have to turn his neck. Doesn't even have to look behind him. He just knows that they're all going to listen. It's a very controlling card, because he has created these rules of society. And I think you, Leo, need to look at, you know, what sort of rules maybe have you been following all along? What are these rules that people have told you? That you can't make this, that you can't do this. It's not a safe thing, right? Somebody when you were growing up probably said, you know, Leo, don't do this. It's not a safe thing. So what are these rules that you've been following all along that need to be broken, right? There's these rules of society that you've been following, right? And it's time now that you look at your own rules. And what are my rules now? What do I want? And so I'm going to leave you with the last reading that I did for you. And yeah, and I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This commitment, this decision, whatever you're working through this month, it's very difficult. And but remember that this is your healing journey, and it's the most important journey of your life, even though it's quite difficult at times. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Leo.